LSU. Beating the living eternal crap out of Auburn right now. 6 minutes to go, about under 5, whatever it is. LSU have been awesome on defense, as they should have been coming into this game. Every question was answered, and then some. It was looking like it was going to follow an interesting script where they were going to get back in this thing, Auburn, and then some big plays on defense just shut the door. And it's a very interesting game because we did not see Whit Weeks out there on defense, and LSU's defense with Omar Spates was able to contain Auburn. And I got to be honest, I feel like, well, some of that is to do with Auburn being poor on offense, but also they gave us their best shot tonight, Auburn. And LSU they could not run with LSU, Auburn. Let's see, Josh Williams up the middle. Nope, it's a fake. Jaden Daniels. Stop running the ball with Jaden Daniels right now. I'm serious. 4 minutes left, up 41-18. What are you doing running the guy who just had a rib injury? I'm drinking my Fresca, and I'm wondering why we're running Jaden Daniels still. Protect your quarterback. What are you doing with stupid play calls like that? There we go, Noah Cain. Wow, that's a rare Noah Cain sighting. We haven't seen much of Noah Cain in a while. Now, this game has been kind of almost an anticlimax because everyone is expecting this game to be tight down to the wire. And LSU have just completely shut the door. After, they looked like they were going to have a blowout to begin the game. 17-0 that first quarter, over 200 yards to -3. But Auburn were able to chip it away, make it, I believe it was a 20-7, something like that, and then 20-10. And yeah, 20-10 at one point, and then the Kyron Lacey touchdown. After some poor drops from Lacey, he's able to respond and just go off. And Lacey makes some big-time plays. Malik Neighbors makes some big-time plays. But our running backs are the guys who really kind of sealed this deal today. Josh Williams with a catching touchdown. John Emery Jr. with a big play, a 49-yard catch, and then he's able to punch it in. Huge rushing days from Jaden Daniels, 93 yards from Jaden Daniels, 97 yards from Logan Diggs. I get it. I want those guys to get 100-yard games as well. Take them out of the game. We have bigger goals. I'm so sick of the sack-adjusted yards because without those, Jaden Daniels has a 100-yard game. He has a couple more 100-yard games. That's what I've always hated about sack-adjusted yards. But Jamer says, "Go Tigers, go Tigers." Yes, indeed. Right now, LSU are pounding them. Pounding them. Jamer, where are you watching this? How are you watching this game? LSU all over him. Jaden Daniels, another 300-yard passing night tonight. Just absolutely skewering Auburn's defense. Logan Diggs, 97 yards, 18 carries. Jaden Daniels, 93 yards on the ground as well. So 20-27 from Daniels. 325, 3 touchdowns. The interception where it was batted up in the air. 74% completion rate from Daniels. And then the 93 yards as well. And it's just like, this guy, what he does for this team is ridiculous. 6-9 on third down, 230 yards rushing, 325 through the air, another 500-plus yard day of offense. Unbelievable. No one can really keep up with this team. But here's the thing. What really sealed this game is just LSU's defense playing like they should. They should dominate this Auburn team. This should be the score line with an Auburn team coming in here, throwing for 156 passing yards a game, having just one 100-yard rusher, one 100-yard receiver the entire season. Or sorry, 0 100-yard receivers and just one 100-yard rusher the whole season. And they come in here, they have a leading receiver of 52 yards right now and a leading rusher of 33 yards right now. Jeremiah Cobb has 5 rushes for 33. Auburn's biggest receiver on the biggest receiving day is 3 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown. So LSU's defense have been awesome tonight. They have played exactly as they should. LSU kicks it off now. Under 4 minutes here. Prince Malbrew, 52, is in the game. Jalen Lee's in the game. Tyjee Hill's in the game. Jeremiah Hughes is in the game. Whit Weeks is in the game finally. This is kind of crazy to see Whit Weeks kind of relegated. And LSU still win. And that's the problem, is I feel like that's going to reinforce their thinking there, their philosophy. And they're probably going to forget all about what Whit Weeks showed them through a few games. And we might catch another loss because of it. Because we think, well, we know better. And see, this game proves that. I got to be honest, Auburn, every chance they had to get back in this thing, make this a game, they blew it. And LSU took it right from them. And it was a great defensive display, but it should have been. I mean, look, we're just watching them throw ducks right now. And their biggest way back into this game, or to make this a game from the start, was Robbie Ashford against our defense. He was chewing up yards every time they actually let him go into a dual threat mode. Look at the defense. If there was like a soft coverage, 10 yards off, he'd just kind of run, take the yards. And what does he end with? 5 rushes for 19 yards. Like, you gotta get him the ball more. You gotta get him in the offense more. Peyton Thorne was not your answer tonight. And they found that out very quickly. They look like they're seeing a ghost right now on the sidelines. Some of these Auburn players. Feel bad for some of them, but at the same time, this is kind of funny because Tyjee Hill, Peyton Thorne just barely gets out of there. Whit and West Weeks both force him out of bounds. Hold them under 20. That's a big deal to me right now. Hold them under 20 points. Nice tackle. Hold them under 20 points. You got to finish it that way. 48-18 right now. That's got to be the final score for me. Just keep it like that right there. 44 seconds left. LSU's stands are almost empty right now. Drunken revelry in the streets. There was someone who ran on the field going crazy as well. Ooh, bad game there. Toviano, come on, man. Lazy. I can't see them scoring a touchdown here. Can't see them getting points here in any way, shape, or form. But let's hope for some type of cool turnover here from LSU's youngsters. This defense came up to play tonight. 293 total yards allowed. 154 on the ground. And that will do it. That will do it. LSU hold them under 20 points. LSU's defense show up to play tonight. We are presented by our sponsors, ReleafMed, the #1 pain relief clinic when it comes to natural You know what we're talking about. Medical marijuana dispensary in Louisiana, ReleafMed, the best. Definitely check them out. You got right there, ReleafMed.com. That's where to go check them out. LSU, 48-18. Come out here and just, the defense has been criticized, and quite rightfully so. And they came out and started this game with a bang. In the middle, they had big time plays that kept LSU, putting it up from 20-10 into 27-10, 34-10 type territory. There were big plays from Harold Perkins, Paris Shand to make that happen. Braden Swinson was flying off the edge with pressure the whole game. This was a great showing from LSU's defensive line. You saw Mekhi Wingo get a sack, his second and a half on the season. He played well as well. Parashand, 1.5 tackles for loss. Harold Perkins, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs, 1 pass breakup, and 1 quarterback hit. Harold Perkins, I mean, he's just littering the stat sheet every damn time he plays. Just littering. Sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions like last week, pass breakups. He's had so many of those this season. I think that's got to be his 4th or 5th. Quarterback hits as well. Pressures, of course, there's going to be a few of those that he had. He's just been incredible. He shut down Luther Burden, held the number 1 receiver supposedly in college football only 2 yards last week. Harold Perkins is just the complete defender. The complete defender. This is a big game for this defense. This defense needed this game to have something to really build off of, to just absolutely control an opponent. And we know Auburn aren't very good aren't very good offensively. We know that. We know how poor they are offensively. But this defense needed to shoot some fish in the barrel. This defense needed to have some type of momentum going into this home stretch. The back half of the season, it's all home games, except for the trip to Alabama. But they needed this type of a performance where it was just all for them, everything going their way, big confidence plays. Wish we had created some turnovers. I don't think there was any interceptions or fumble. Yeah, no fumbles, no interceptions that I saw. Or, yeah, none. And that's a worrying thing. This defense needs to be creating more turnovers. I don't like that we only have like 4 or 5 interceptions on the season and just like 2 or 3 forced fumbles, something like that. That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough, and that's not going to cut it against the best teams. You're going to need to take the football away. And we didn't do that, but luckily Auburn were terrible offensively and just continued to give us the football. And Jaden Daniels surgically annihilates them. Malik Neighbors, big night for him, opened the game with a touchdown that just searing pace up and down the field. Let's get into that. Let's do some screen share up in this hizzy. Boom. So this game started off with a bang, where LSU just opened this game up, just throwing the ball over the place. Mason Taylor getting a good play. Logan Diggs, of course, first rush of the night, goes for 35 yards. This thing right here. That Tiger Band, the Golden Band. Oh, here we go. Look at that play from Garrett Dellinger. Oof. And then that block right there, Charles Turner, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Diggs just went flying up the field for 35 yards. He was unbelievable tonight. Just count it as a 100-yard game. My God. One really just horrible thing from tonight that we haven't really focused on, but we're going to talk about that right now. The Emory Jones injury. It did not look good. It did not look good. You see him kind of crumple. His legs crumple. Someone gets him from behind. He's fallen to his knees. It's something you've seen, I've seen, and it never equals anything good for usually the recipient. And you saw him go on crutches to the locker room, and you saw him on the sidelines looking really, really distraught at first, but then you saw him kind of chilled out, kind of having fun with some guys, kind of laughing at the drunken fan who was taken off the field. And so I think, I think he just always has perspective, but it's just he might be done for the season. I don't want to be too crazy and speculate, but like, there's the image. There's the image right there. He could be done for the year. And that would be a sad, sad reality because he's been incredible for us. He's been incredible for us. And he's just such an awesome kid. And he's just SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week this last week. And you saw 8 penalties for our team, and so many of them were on the offensive line. 12 penalties, my bad, 12 penalties for 100 yards. Our worst game by far, penalty-wise, beating the 11 from before. And so this LSU have had some bad penalty games lately, but this was by far the worst, understandably so, with Lance Hurd coming in there and replacing Emory Jones. And it's just LSU's offensive line. We were talking about how great this offensive line was, how dominant this offensive line was, and how we were worried about Charles Turner's health. And Charles Turner looked great tonight. Looked like he had no problems out there. And you see Emory Jones go down. And we wrote this in our article. I don't like this. I don't like to jinx the team like this. And I didn't feel like I was. Now I feel like I am. I said that we are going to have a big injury. We're due for one. We're going to have a big injury in this game. And I did say it'd be someone on offense. Emory Jones is one of the last people you want going down. Like a Will Campbell, Jaden Daniels, Emory Jones, like Charles Turner, like Malik Neighbors. Like, you lose those guys and you're screwed. And so I think Lance Hurd is the best option, best case scenario you could wish for. There's Braden Swinson making a great play, but he's the best case scenario you could ask for because he's coming in there. He's bullish. He's confident. He's going to make some mistakes. But I bet on him to succeed at that right tackle position if we have to use him for the rest of the season. I think he's got the athletic ability. He's no Emory Jones, but he can hold his own, I think. He has to, because really, he's the best option LSU's got. And so we'll be waiting for news from Emory Jones about what he may have suffered in this game. It looks like an ACL. It looked like meniscus. Yeah, see, Whit Weeks on the sidelines. Omar Spates. What did Omar Spates have tonight defensively? 8 tackles, 2 solo. I mean, he was flying around. This was Omar Spates' best game for sure. And it had to be if he wanted to really keep Whit Weeks off the field. He was fantastic. But why Whit Weeks is not on the field, it makes no sense to me. And I feel like we said before, it's just going to reinforce their personnel favorites and choices, and they're just going to be like, nope, we're going with them. Too bad. Don't like the sound of that. Paris Shand, number 94, had a big game for LSU. This was his big game. 6 tackles, 1 solo, 1.5 tackles for loss, and just a sick batted pass. John Emery Jr. had a breakout. This play from Caleb Jackson was awesome right here, too. Caleb Jackson with a great return as well, and then boom, we got his return as well that we'll show you. But this was just crazy. This guy, and then look at this number 9. He's like, that wasn't okay. We were absolutely dominating them. They had no response. They had just no reason to be back in this game. Somehow they pulled it together and made this somewhat of a game, and then LSU just shut that door quick in that second half. Look at that play from Parashon. Oh, come around that edge. He was making plays left, right, and center. This is not just as far from the only play he made. That batted pass he had, I want to see our defensive line do more of that, and I've seen our defensive line batting passes a lot more this season than usual, and they need to. Here's that beautiful play from Mekhi Wingo where, watch him right here. He almost bypasses Thorne and boom, sit you down. Sit you down. Mekhi, 2.5 sacks on the season. He had 3 all of last season, so he's these are the plays I think that probably won us this game. Harold Perkins, first the sack right there. I mean the pressure. Forces third down. This is a play where, this is a drive where Auburn needed a touchdown, just like that's the touchdown where they made it 17-7. If they didn't score this touchdown here, it would be very hard for them to keep pace scoring wise with LSU for this game. And it felt like time was going to run out for them. They'd grow desperate, turn the ball over, whatever. Harold Perkins just shut the door right here. It forced him to kick a field goal, and then Kyron Lacy scored a touchdown on the next drive. And Lacy really responded. He made some bad drops on third down in this game, just like he has all season. I believe he has 5 drops, more than even last year already this season. I'll have to double check that stat. But he responds and completely seals the deal for LSU offensively. Incoming, completely seals the deal for LSU with just a ton of yards after catch from only a couple grabs. Let's take a look at what his yards were. Kyron Lacy, 4 catches, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 57-yard long one, 27.8 per catch, 5 total targets. He did have that drop, and that's always what's going to hurt Kyron Lacy. But if he can produce like that, it's hard to say he's not that number 1 guy. If he's going to keep doing stuff like that, you can't keep him off the field, even if he's going to drop a pass or two. And it's just sometimes the drops he has, well, I should say almost always, they're on third downs. They're almost always on third down. And so it's like, and again, it was tonight as well. And so it's like, if you're going to drop the passes, maybe like choose first and second down, like, Malik and Brian do. This third down stuff's got to stop. If it doesn't, Jalen Brown's there. Sheldon Sampson Jr.'s there, or the tight ends like Mac Markway. Kyle Parker's another receiver that's awesome you could use. But, Kyron Lacy, 4 catches, 111, 1 touchdown. He literally said, hey, I'm the number 3 guy. You cannot take me off the field. So, Aaron Anderson had like a diving catch where he should have gotten the first down, but kind of this diving thing where he was just short of. It's really kind of weird. Like, why didn't he just get the first down? Mason Taylor only 2 catches, 18 yards. You saw last year how involved he was in this offense. They basically ran the offense through him. This year, it's all about the receivers, which I was hoping it would be before the season because it would be such a waste to not put have the offense go through them, and it was last year. But this season, we had to do it, and it's been a really big sacrifice of Mason Taylor. I think he had 65 yards, 60 something yards last week, and that was his biggest of the year. He does have, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns, but Brian Thomas Jr. only 2 catches for 7 yards tonight. He was non-existent. 3 targets his way. Wow. That was just one of those games for Brian Thomas Jr. Here's that Caleb Jackson return you've got to see. Oh my God. A racer. Oh, it sucks because if he had been able to maintain his balance and turn that upfield right here, keep his hips angled, maybe that if he does, that guy tackles him though. So Caleb freaking Jackson is going to be special. He already is, but when they're using him every play, good Lord. Look at this play. This play was beautiful. This play was beautiful. This is Lacey's second touchdown of the game. I believe he had 2, right? No, he had just had 1. Um, but Jaden Daniels with a beautiful throw here. Josh Williams. Kyron Lacey creates the separation. Lacey, such a strange player, because he has such a high potential. He's just got to deliver. And then look at that. Zalance Hurd, he didn't look like he was ever totally uncomfortable out there. There was the penalties. There was a few hiccups here and there, but for the most part, Lance Hurd, for me, looked great. He probably allowed a sack on the stats. He probably won't be in the top 5 or top 6 of pass block grades or run block grades, but he was able to shore it up. LSU were able to get a win against a really damn good front 7. I mean, it's early in the game. LSU are rolling, and then Emory Jones goes down. It's like your dream. Logan Diggs had like 65, 67 yards on them, and then only 30 the whole rest of the game. It was kind of a recipe for success, but then Jaden Daniels just continued to go off. Jaden Daniels just continues to rack it up, and tonight it looked almost too easy from Jaden Daniels, almost the point you couldn't appreciate it for some people probably, because it was so easy. Like that. That's just like almost too easy, but he's looking people off. He's completely manipulating the secondary, and then he just guts them. Here's Jaden Daniels again with another nice throw right through coverage. Finds a nice little pocket there and hits Kyron Lacey. Look at that. Finds the beautiful. I mean, Kyron Lacey after the catch going nuts, doing whatever to score, and I would have felt terrible for Lacey had he fumbled right then. I would have just been like, God. This play is so huge from Joshua. This play is awesome. That basically ended the game. 34-10 LSU. That everyone knew it. That ended the game. See you later. Delayed underneath. Boom. Josh Williams make that little move on Larry Nixon, gets him to hesitate, and then he's gone. Makes the Tigers dive, stretches it out, sprawling, does everything to get in. He was getting in. See ya. Stiff arm as well. 27, baby. King Josh for the touchdown. Miles Frazier going crazy. Mason Taylor going crazy. I mean, Mason Taylor could be a poor sport every damn play because he's not getting the ball a lot. And he's usually playing pretty beat up with that shoulder still. But no, he's always the first one there cheering for these guys. And this was good as well to see from Sage Ryan. Sage Ryan had a very assured performance for me. I know some people are still down on this kid no matter what he does, but Sage Ryan had a great game today. And listen how Jesse Palmer talks about him.
Saudi Arabia running the Riyadh Center. Imagine those two guys in the ring together. No, it's going to be amazing. This is a nice play here on the outside by Sage Ryan, doing a great job breaking that play up. He's provided some stability now. These last two games, as much as the secondary has struggled in the back end, you got to kind of like what you've seen from number 15.
Stability. Jesse Palmer says he's bringing stability to the back end. So, you can hate on him all you want, say he's not good enough, whatever. I really think that's extremely harsh. Completely disagree with it. This is a kid who created 5 turnovers last year, gets 0 credit for it. Two forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and he forced an interception with a pass breakup. I mean, this guy had 3 other uncredited pass breakups to go with his one that he was credited with, so 4 total last year. I think Sage Ryan has now found his right spot in this defense, and you just let him play because he's one of your best 11 players on defense, and you've seen it tonight. Denver Harris looked okay at certain moments. Zy Alexander had his moments, then got picked on still. Zy Alexander is always such a mixed bag, but 2 pass breakups, led the team with 9 tackles, 6 solo. Obviously, that's a lot of catches against him. No. Look at LSU's drive chart. 4 plays, 75 yards to open the game with a touchdown. 4 plays, 75 yards. 6 plays, 65 yards for the next touchdown. The next 3 drives were actually 4 drives were poor. Field goal, punt, interception, then the kneel at halftime. Touchdowns, 6 plays, 39 yards. 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Touchdowns, 4 plays, 67 yards. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. This was the knockout punch here. 11 plays, 75 yards, 6 minutes for the touchdown from Josh Williams. That was the play that was the drive right there that shut the door. And on a night when the number 1 quarterback of the 2025 class is in attendance, on a night when you have so many top recruits there, and Underwood gets to watch Jaden Daniels put on that kind of performance, over 400 yards once again. Didn't continue his over 4 touchdowns responsible for record, sadly, but incredible. LSU rushed the ball for 6.1 yards average per rush, 16.3 average yards per completion from Jaden Daniels. Slinging it all over the place, 8.5 per play. We held Auburn to just 4.8 per play, 3 of 12 on third down. Once again, the second straight week, LSU's defense are holding defenses on third down. Second straight week. LSU's defense are really clamping down on third down here. That's what you want to see. Because I feel if this defense can just get off the field on third down, if they can just get off the field. Just get off the field. You don't have to create turnovers even. If that's not what you're good at, just get off the field. If they can do that in lieu of creating turnovers or getting a ton of sacks or what, I'll take it. Because as long as you're giving the ball back to Jaden Daniels, you're not going to be able to keep up with us in this track meet. You're not going to be able to. Sorry, just typing this real quick. That's a big sign for their improvement. Holding opponents to 7 of 23 on third down in the last 2 games. They were improved with it against Missouri. Probably the only thing they did well that game, except for improve at the end, and that was a big sign for it, getting them off the damn field. Matt House is getting killed, and now what are you going to do? Are you going to give Matt House credit for this? Are you going to say Matt House had nothing to do with it? I mean, it's a very strange game, too, because you also saw Ovia Gofu play a ton. You didn't see, Braden Swinson play so much. He had some key, huge third down pressures, of course, like he always does. But you didn't see him too involved. Not really. You got to see this, everybody. LSU's defenders are dancing like this. You got to hand it to them. They deserve to dance tonight. There's Charles Turner doing some dances. There's Blake. There's Toviano. It's great to see these kids having fun. There's Jeremiah Hughes. Look at that from Toviano. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Right here. You see that? Oh my God. Toviano. It's great to see this defense kicking ass, playing aggressive, and just being complimentary for Jaden Daniels, letting Jaden Daniels take the game over and deliver the victory. Just punch it in, and you saw a lot of points and a lot of big plays coming from our running backs tonight. Josh Williams, John Emery Jr., Logan Diggs, of course. You saw all 3 of those guys really deliver for LSU tonight. Logan Diggs, 97 yards, 18 carries, 1 touchdown, averaging 5.4 per carry. John Emery Jr., though, this is very interesting. Okay. 1 catch, 49 yards, 6 rushes, 42 yards, 1 touchdown. So, John Emery Jr. back on the scene. 91 total yards, only 7 touches. And he looked rugged his first rush. He didn't look really in good shape or look good, very good. And then there came the wheel route, and he caught the ball and was just gone with the wind, and it was just game over from there. They were desperate to get him a touchdown. You noticed on that drive, and they kept hammering it in, and he bounced off that guy on the ground without touching the ground, not his elbow, not his knee, and he got in. And it's just it was crazy. Jamie says, "Shoots, I never get a notification you were on." Jamie, Trey Holly was getting it going. Press the bell. If you don't have a notification that I'm live, that's probably because you haven't pressed the bell. So press the bell, Jammer, and you'll get those notifications. It's the notification bell right there on the screen, and also on LSUODYSSEY.com. But I should have started more on time. I kept delaying it because the game wasn't over. And I should have just went live right then during the game later on, and just watched it. I just didn't think there would be too much of an audience for that, and so I was like, well, whatever. And so I just started going when it was obvious the game was a huge blowout, and LSU, the game was basically effectively over. And that's the type of way that I wanted to see it end. I know everyone wanted a hard stop and finish. I'm sick of that. This team needed a very comfortable win. They're going to be dealing with this Emory Jones injury. They're going to be trying to figure out the offensive line future here. This defense needed a cruise control game as well. They've been up against it. The games have been fast and furious. They've been, you know, out of breath just to watch these games. Imagine playing in these things, 80 plays, 90 plays, or whatever against Missouri, against Ole Miss, both. This defense needed an opponent like this. They needed this tonight. Someone earlier was saying, "Do you think Malik Neighbors is hurt or whatever? So something's wrong with Malik Neighbors." I'm like, "Yeah, Malik Neighbors is hurt. There's something wrong with Malik Neighbors." So they're giving him little touch passes and having him run around them. Like, no, sorry, he's okay. Like some of the passes his way weren't so catchable from Jaden Daniels in the first half. Like some of the passes Jaden Daniels threw were off in the first half, and it was kind of like, what? Jaden Daniels throwing inaccurate passes? This is strange. And then Jaden Daniels just went, and it was done. Like Jaden Daniels started the game brilliantly, kind of went into a little slump throwing the ball. His rushing attack kind of got him going. He hits a few guys here or there, and after the first one or two bad passes Malik Neighbors' way, up and behind, but Malik should be catching the ball. A few location issues, but also some drops too. Lacey with a drop, Neighbors with a drop. But then you just saw Malik just went, and Jaden Daniels just went, and 400 plus yards once again from Jaden Daniels. This dude is going to really, 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 really have to either get injured right now or start just playing completely 180 from what he's doing right now to not be in New York City. Because I just can't see there being any way you can keep this kid off the Heisman ballot. And right now, who's to say he is not the best quarterback in America? And when Caleb Williams contributing greatly to USC getting destroyed by Notre Dame, absolutely destroyed. 3 interceptions tonight, 199 passing yards, and Jaden Daniels has thrown like what 3 picks all season, 4 picks all season. Caleb Williams has thrown 3 picks in one game. You're going to see Jaden Daniels rise above Caleb Williams now in the conversation, because I'm sorry, but this was a big loss, high profile loss. USC had 6-0, and they were ranked in the top 10. Like, you guys have a chance to, like, if you can get through your tough Pac-12 schedule, you guys can walk into the CFP, even with just one loss. But with that one loss being to Notre Dame, still to play Washington, right? Oregon as well, I believe. They're screwed. Utah probably still on the schedule, right? They're screwed, USC. And Caleb Williams, 3 picks, 14 incompletions. I mean, he had a bad game. So I'm sorry. You have to move Caleb Williams aside and put Jaden Daniels at the top of that Heisman conversation right now, tonight. This kid puts up 400 combined yards every single week. Not only 300 plus passing, but then 100 plus rushing the damn ball. How can you take this away from him? How can you say anything otherwise? How? Give me any excuse you can give. You can throw at the wall for why Jaden Daniels should not be the number. If the Heisman voting was tonight, right now, who is your Heisman quarterback? Whether you are an LSU fan, whether you're an Alabama fan, whether you're a Tennessee fan, whether you're a Georgia fan, whether you're a Ohio State fan, you cannot disagree that Jaden Daniels is he's playing the best football of any quarterback in America, and there is no ifs, doubts, buts about it. There are no exceptions to the rule that Jaden Daniels is laying down right now. He is absolutely owning college football right now. Anything he does seems to turn to magic. He literally can screw up and go, oh, I threw that interception. They got bobbled, and my location's a little squampus right now. Oh, I got hurt in the rib. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to bounce off 4 guys anyway. Like, this guy is almost like Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk out there sometimes. You just think that it's like his own world, and he's running it, and he's owning it, and he's dominating it, and there's nothing anyone can do you can't even touch him at times. And tonight you saw Auburn's front 7 clamp down a few times and shut down the space and make those tight windows where he's like, ooh, I got space to run into, and they close him down. You saw that happen a few times tonight. But then you also saw just how fast Jaden Daniels is by the fact that he's beating that. I mean, I don't think we really understand how good Jaden Daniels is unless you've seen him live in person, as I have. Seeing him live in person, playing with like a screwed up foot against Georgia, and he still was running the ball like a madman. He was throwing the ball with absolute command last season against Georgia. Go back and watch that tape. He is throwing one big dime after another, and it was impressive to see him do that while hurt. And then he started running the ball like crazy against Georgia and exacerbated that injury a bit. Still, while playing at about 50% of his capabilities, seeing that live, Daniels was still special to behold. Now, probably about 96, 97% healthy with that little bit of injury, keeping that arm just a little sore, just a little bit. He has been electric. He has been unstoppable. He's put it all together. I don't like, though, at the end of the game, you're up 48-18. Why are you running your most prized asset of your team up the gut on these quarterback draws? The game is over. Put Caleb Jackson, put Trey Holly in there, give him some touches. Jaden Daniels does not need a 100-yard game more than he needs a ring on his finger. Because the only way we're going to get anywhere close to anywhere, even a pipe dream of that vision, is with Jaden Daniels as our quarterback. Because no other way that's happening. And you're risking him with these ridiculous runs up the middle when the game is over. I understand what they want to do in the running game with him, and I'm fine with them running him. But when the game is over, you do not need to risk this guy. There's just situations sometimes where I'm like, God, every football team should have like a common sense expert that just says, hey, offensive coordinator, what are you doing? That's a waste of a down. You're going to get that kid hurt. There's no reason. Kneel the ball. We're done here. Or, hey, I know you're trying to stat pad. That guy needs to come out of the game. He's, 2 weeks off of a really nasty injury. We have to play this tough team next week. Let's get him off the field. Like, hey, take a timeout. Your defense is really huffing and puffing here. Give them a second. Let's get a red zone stop here. Hold them to a field goal, but you're not going to do that unless you take a timeout here. Like, there's just certain things. Or, hey, tell your linebacker, go down for a second. Fake an injury. Get an injury timeout. We don't have any more. We don't want to give anyone away. Like, whatever. There's got to be someone that you just hire for these certain moments where it's like common sense. And just, if you had hired one of those guys, they'd be like, Mikey, what the hell are you doing? God damn it, what are you doing? Running Jaden Daniels up the middle, 3 minutes left in the fourth, up by 30. What are you doing? It's unconscionable. Do not do that to our guy. Do not take this season away from him with a dumb injury like that. Don't ask Jaden Daniels to do it all to the point where, like, he's racking up rushing yards at the end of the game senselessly. Dumb. And that's really my only gripe of the entire game, because this was an expertly expertly called game from Mike Denbrock. I mean, are you kidding me? This was one brilliant play call after another, where we were literally working, absolutely working Auburn's defense. You just love to see this type of offensive display from this team. I mean, it sucks to see Emory Jones go down. That's a big injury to me. That's an injury that's really, I feel, going to hurt the continuity of the O-line at some point this season. That's going to shock you and I. We're going to think the O-line's got it good with Hurd, and it's all good, don't worry. And then you're going to go, damn, that's why we miss Emory. God, what is this so loud? Had to move locations. Baby's going down. But yeah, I just I really get worried about that injury, and I was sensing something before this game. I didn't want to jinx the team, but my God, I had a feeling that someone's going to get hurt in this game. Someone big. This team really has to have is going to get hurt, and we're going to have to figure out how to do it without him, because we had escaped. We had escaped so many different injuries. Jaden Daniels as well, the latest. I mean, it's crazy that he isn't like 50% or anything. He's like fine. He's like the Terminator. And so the odds were not in our favor. You just knew something was going to happen, and at least in my opinion. But seeing it happen to Emory Jones, you don't want it to happen to anybody. But man, that kid's got soul, man. Like, that kid's got soul. That's a kid you root for. That's a kid you pull for. That's a kid you really want to achieve his goals. And he's on his way. He's going to do that. No matter if he's out for the season or out for 3 or 4 weeks or whatever his, injury diagnosis is. I think you're going to see him rebound and be fine from this thing. But at the same time, the season he is having, it was a quiet, awesome season before the SEC O-Lineman of the Week honors. Before then, it was kind of just, people weren't really giving him much credit. And then once he had that moment, everyone was kind of, okay, we'll pay attention to him a bit more. And you saw him just blow up. And he was having one good game after another, one complete performance after another, kind of taking some shine away from Will Campbell for the first time ever. Will Campbell's always the one getting the credit, getting the love. And here was Emory just shutting people down, hurting fools, just getting in people's face. The Missouri guy kicking him, like he was all over. And he's such a nice kid. So to see this happen to such a nice kid, a personal friend of LSU Odyssey as well, we're not going to lie about that. That's we have a soft spot for Emory, of course. And so we don't know exactly what's going on right now. But we are hoping and praying that 6 weeks, 4 weeks, if we can get Emory back for the SEC title game, that is the best case scenario you could wish for right now. Like some type of sprained meniscus or something. Like a sprained meniscus is like the best case scenario here. And his, being pulled out of the game is like precautionary strain. Don't want it to get any worse. It looked bad. I don't know about you, but it looked bad to me. It looks like just one of those cliche situations where you roll up on it. And you just don't want to see that, man. It's just sad, man. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, I'm hoping it's not what I think it is, and I'm hoping he's going to be okay, because what a piece of this team. What a huge piece for this team. What an invaluable player. But, Lance Hurd, if he can step in and make it okay, at least if he can bridge that gap, I mean, that'll be such a miracle in a way. You'll lose a guy like Emory Jones, and you think we're screwed on that right side. Jane Daniels going to have it all to do on that right side. Now, it's just the question is, how long will it take Lance Hurd to get it going? No more stupid penalties that cost drives, cost points, have us go for field goals instead of touchdowns. Like, that could hurt us on the road in Tuscaloosa. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Jalen Milroe started throwing the football. Malik Benson, they got some studs at receiver that you just haven't seen really much of at Alabama. It's not like their usual studs. I'm not saying that, but LSU's got to watch out for that team, and I'm just really worried going into the rest of the schedule without Emory Jones. I really am. LSU's defense holding opponents, their last two opponents, to 7 of 23 on third down. I love that stat. Supposedly Frank Gore was at the LSU game. Frank Gore. That's crazy. It's probably there because of all the running back royalty. You had Kevin Falk, you had Rondell Mealy, you had Cecil Collins. You had some special LSU icons there tonight. So I'm sure Frank Gore is just there because of some of the greats. I mean, Cecil Collins is never seen in person, never seen at these events, never seen at LSU. So today was for sure a historic moment to see Cecil the Diesel back at Tiger Stadium. Do not get lost on that. And, Jacques Doucet's documentary is going to be coming out on WFB tomorrow night. Going to be interesting to watch, to see. This documentary has been in the works since like 2020 or something, since like 2019. I mean, Jacques even brought it up on the interview we did with him, I believe, last fall. He even brought that up to us, saying it was still in the works, and it was like, wow, get this thing done, man. I want to see this thing. And supposedly he asks all the tough questions. Supposedly he asks, about, if you don't know, Cecil, he could not stay at LSU because he had a problem sneaking into women's rooms in the middle of the night. And he continued to do that even when he was at the Miami Dolphins. Like, he had a problem where it was like, he didn't rape anyone that we know of, but it was getting to that point where you're sneaking into the homes of women. Like, he followed some woman from the gym home when he was at Miami as well. Like, predatory behavior, really scary, dangerous stuff that could have ended up a whole different way. And he went to jail for it. He went to jail for this stuff for a long time, for I believe like 8 years or something, 4 years. Like, he served some pretty significant jail time for sneaking into the woman's home in Miami. I believe Jimmy Johnson was the coach there at the time, was giving him a chance. But so yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting day here at LSU to have all of these big time icons here to watch this team, all of these huge recruits. Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback of 2025 here at Tiger Stadium, to watch what this team is going to do. Watch how this offense works with Jaden Daniels. And we put on a show for not only the recruits, for the alumni, for the fans who were just awesome in that first half. The fans kind of dwindled off a little in the second half, but they were crazy to give LSU that first start. Awesome for first half from the Tiger Stadium crowd. And it's what we needed. We just needed that hot start. We needed the defense to make complimentary plays, take advantage of some poor mistakes, some lack of execution from Auburn, and just give the offense the initiative to put the pedal to the metal and put this game to sleep. And that's what they did. And you've got to hand it to our defense. You've got to hand it to Matt House. They didn't lay an egg here. They were not going to let that happen. And you look at Auburn and you go, well, they shouldn't have. I mean, this is a terrible offensive team. And I believe they let us off the hook by not using Robbie Ashford more. If they had run the offense through Robbie Ashford tonight, Robbie Ashford probably puts up 300 yards total again on us and has a great game. LSU probably still win by, over 15 points or whatever, but I guarantee they have more success than what they're doing with Peyton Thorne. But regardless, Auburn are in a bad place, and we got them at the perfect time. And for all anyone's worries about what was going to happen, there's a lot of people picking Auburn to beat us in this game. LSU delivered. And they delivered in a big-time way, absolutely swung that hammer. This was a game Matt House had to deliver as well. This was a big game for Matt House's career at LSU. His presidential favorability rating, if we were to do it, his rating would be at its lowest for this game, at its complete rock bottom before this game. Even after Ole Miss, I mean, it was like, okay, you got somewhat better against Missouri to get the win, but like, you're still showing us the same stuff. I still have some issues though. Why are you playing Omar Speights over Whit Weeks? You can't play Omar Speights over Whit Weeks. You can't have someone like Whit Weeks on the bench, in my opinion. I think Omar Speights had his best game in purple and gold, 8 tackles, second on the team, but at the same time, you saw some errors in coverage. You saw some mistakes as well. Like, Whit Weeks is the better player. You got to play him. We saw very little of Deshaun Womack. It seemed like they were very headstrong tonight and sticking with their veterans and wanting to get their veterans some type of confidence tonight. They knew it was possible that this could be a very big time get right game. And they knew hey, this is your game to make plays. If you're not going to do it, we're going to find out from this game. But go out there and dominate like you should. And you saw Ovia Gofu with a quarterback hit. You saw some good plays from some of these guys that they said, hey, we got to trust. We've got to have some of these guys deliver tonight. We got to have a Parashon big game. We have a big game from him. We got to have a big game from Mason Smith. He didn't really get one from him, though. But you know what I'm saying. They really were kind of headstrong and bullish in their guys tonight. Andre Sam should have had that interception. Drops an interception that was literally a punt. Come on, man. Should have had that pick. But LSU had how many tackles for loss? We had 5 tackles for loss. Kai Wingo with 1 from that sack, 2 from Harold Perkins, 1.5 from Parashon, half from Greg Penn, and I believe they're robbing Jordan Jefferson of at least a half of 1 as well. Jordan Jefferson with a swat at the line, Parashon with a swat at the line. We broke up 2, 3, 4, 5 passes tonight. And I don't think they gave Sage Ryan one either. They didn't give him one. They never. Man, I gotta say, I might be biased because I tight with Sage, but I've never seen a player denied more pass breakups before. He didn't get one against Florida State for one he broke up on 4th down. He didn't get one where he batted it in the air to Frank Wilson's son for the pick six. He had one earlier this season he didn't get credit for, and now here we go again. I hate how they give stats. They're so conservatively judicious in how they give them out. Like, no. And it's like, you look at the play I just showed earlier. How is that not a pass breakup? Oh, well. LSU get the win by 30 points. The defense plays awesome, just like we were hoping they would. Damn, it feels good to be a Tiger. Yes, it does, AD. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, my dude. We have been presented here tonight by ReleafMed. Awesome sponsors. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff for them. You're going to be hearing a lot more of ReleafMed. Get used to it. We are very excited to be having them joining us in this partnership with this show and with this site, with all this content. Doors are opening, my friends. And we've got a crazy cool announcement coming very soon this next week as well. So buckle up for that. Stay with us, because tomorrow we're going to have a lot of content about this game and what's coming next. Go Tigers, baby.